3 years of Genshin Impact account history, thought process, decision making. Let's go! 1.0, the Venti banner. First limited banner ever. Where was my account? Not in existence, because I didn't start in 1.0. So we can jump right past this. I was not playing yet. Next banner, Klee, Xingqiu, Sucrose, and Noelle. Where was I? I think I actually played in like the last week or last 5 days of the banner. My account was officially created on November 8th. So I did start playing on this banner and I got my initial wishes. What did I do? Who did I get? I did some online research, did some reading, saw that there are complaints about Klee being clunky, so I said forget it. All of my wishes shall go to the standard banner. So I can have more characters other than Noelle and Sucrose and Stinky Xingqiu, because no way are those characters actually good. Am I right? So anyhow, I did that. I put all of my wishes into standard thinking, hey, if I'm gonna play this game long term and I wasted my wishes on standard, so be it, because I don't even know if I like this game to keep up with it yet. So I'm just gonna put my wishes into standard, and I figure I'm still ahead of the game just from starting to play the Genshin Impact relatively early. That was my mindset. So, who did I get? I got Razor, and he is absolutely who I mained like throughout the entire Archon story, like all the way until I finally reached a real endgame. So Razor was my boy, and I remember I got my first 5-star pull on the standard, of course, because that's where all my wishes went. And who did I get but the best standard character ever, Chi-Chi. I say that and it sounds, sad and ironic, but I was actually quite grateful for her at the time because I looked up whatever tier lists online and it said Chi-Chi S tier. And honestly, she didn't pair badly at all with Razor because I got the superconduct team comp going. I had, all the healing I could ever want, and it felt good. I had no regrets. It was so fun. No, I don't take that back at all. I was having fun. Razor plus Chi-Chi for my early and mid-game career. And on to the 1.1 banners we went. Child, Tartaglia, Mr. Worldwide himself. What did I do? I waited till the end of his banner before making any decisions. And I swear, there was a period of overlap where I got to test trial Zhongli on the very next banner before Tartaglia was completely gone. I don't know if I'm misremembering, but I feel like that was the case. I remember testing Zhongli, or maybe I just watched a ton of videos on him at the time because he was already out in CN or something like that. So I did that. Zhongli looked terrible to me. I said, forget him, even if he's an Archon. He just looks so bad. I'm not a fan. So you know what? I'm really gonna try and get Tartaglia at the end of his banner. So I wished, and I didn't get him. But I was all the way up to 75, 76 already. So I was just thinking, man, I really don't want Zhongli, and I do kind of like Tartaglia's playstyle. So you know what? I am going to spend some money. I spent $1, and that one wish brought home Mr. Worldwide himself. It was a 50-50 and I won it, and I was pretty happy. So, Child, he is my first limited 5-star ever, and I'm sure I racked up a ton of Ningguang cons as well at some point. Well, maybe not. She was actually my second C6 4-star character. My first one ever, I believe, was Fischl. How did I get the Fischls? Let's see as we go through the banner history. So anyhow, kept playing. This banner rolled out. I didn't care for Zhongli, but I still wanted to pour in some wishes here. You know why? Because I was a Razor main. and I wanted to get his constellations. So I did that. And not only that, you know who else I really wanted? I really wanted Xin Yan. Because the Spiral Abyss during those times were so, like, pyro favored. So I was like, I need a pyro character. Give me some Xin Yan. So I probably spent 40-ish, 50-ish wishes on this banner, and I was so sad that I got 0 Xin Yan. And that's 1.1. 1.2, Albedo. And like I said before, I had a lot of Ningguang constellations. She was like close to C6, or she was C6 or something like that. So I had Child and Razor and Chi-Chi as my initial main team. Yeah, great, I know. And then I needed a second team. Who would I use? Well, the game told me I needed to use Ningguang. I already missed out on Zhongli, so I need that Geo Resonance. I need Albedo. And not only that, I really wanted Fischl. So this is where my Fischl constellations came from. I really wanted Fischl because I thought she was so good with Child. Which, you know, for Overworld, you know, constant electro charge wasn't bad back then in the beginning, good old early days. So I really wanted Fischl, and of course, even at this point, I really wanted Bennett. Like, I am largely rolling on this Albedo banner because I want Bennett. And I rolled and I rolled, and I couldn't get him, and this was just so early in the life of the game that I topped up. I believe it was like $20 or $50. I did that, and I got an Albedo. And largely, I did it for Bennett cons, but I didn't get that many Bennett cons, if I remember. He might have just been like C1, though I did get C6 Fischl. Ganyu. Ooh, the hype that came out around Ganyu. I still remember watching some Damone Kim videos just saying how busted her charge shot was. But looking at it, I already knew that it wasn't really a playstyle that I would probably love in Genshin Impact. So I just said pass. So I didn't do much here, just passed. Had my Razor, had my Child, had my Ningguang Albedo going. 1.3. Xiao. Edgelord. Lament. Did I want him? No. I was like, what? He drains his own HP? Yeah, he's powerful and all, but that's such a drawback. And I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna wait until they release other characters just as powerful as Xiao who don't lose their own HP. So I said, forget you, Xiao. Goodbye. Keqiang, the first standard 5-star limited banner. Wow. Did I really want her? No. She was not very good at the time, but she had Bennett on her banner. I kinda want Bennett, but no, I can't waste the wishes at this time. I've already learned my lesson from pouring my wishes all into standard when I first started, so at this point, no, I had to pass. Hu Tao, the first ever Hu Tao banner. Oh, even with Xingqiu and Xiangling. And at this point, it's already, you know, very well known how good these characters are, the 4 stars. And Hu Tao coming out, also pretty good. I really wanted some Xiangling and Xingqiu cons. But, as for Hu Tao, did I want her? No. Because I thought the exact same thing as for Xiao. I don't want a character who drains their own HP and needs to be low HP to be powerful. I'm just gonna wait until they inevitably release someone just as powerful who doesn't lose HP. But I really wanted these 4 stars at the time, so I still threw a few wishes in there. I was on 50-50. I was willing to go up to 74 because I remember thinking that 74 was still not soft pity yet. So I did wish number 74. My wish turned gold, and it was a Keqiang. So I got Keqing, skipped her on the last one, but got her there. Okay, cool. She's not that great. doesn't have super meta teams, but okay. And that was 1.3. 1.4. Oh, and I believe like the first ever rerun of a limited character. Mr. Worldwide himself, Mr. Rerun Archon Unfair Moniker himself, Child. I kind of wanted a little bit of Rosaria at that time. I can't remember if I really did any wishes. No, I didn't. I didn't do any wishes. Yeah, no. I passed. I already had Child. I didn't need his C1. I don't care for Barbara, and I think I already had C6 Fischl. So I said, easy skip for me. But this was also the first time I ever actually looked at the weapon banner. This looked juicy to me. Why? Because I had Child, and Skyward Harp was his best in slot. And remember who was my other team leader? It was Ning Guang. So Lost Prayer, I would also be happy to get that. And you know what? I've been really enjoying Genshin Impact up to this time. I figured, oh, I didn't even really spend anything for myself on my birthday, so I did it. I did drop an extra 100 on the shop for this banner in particular. And today, looking back on that, how do I feel about that decision? Honestly, I feel great about it. Because this banner like shaped my whole entire Genshin Impact experience from this point forward in such a positive way. Why? Because I got my R5 Favonius swords and I got my R5 Fav lances from this banner. I definitely had enough to R5 both of them, and I might have even reached a point where I almost R5 like 2 of each on this banner. And this was before any content creator even started like releasing about how broken Fav was. Like I had not seen a single video talking about how broken Fav was up to at this point. But I remember thinking, looking at it myself, I thought, Fav is really good. Like, isn't it? Like, I don't know why no one hypes it up, but I think it's really good. So did that, no regrets. Have my Fav weapons, have a harp, have a Lost Prayer, and I still use both of those weapons to this day in 4.2. I love these weapons, especially on Wanderer, just because of the move speed. To me, Lost Prayer is his absolute BIS because I'm always using him in the overworld, and that move speed is just mwah, chef's kiss. And Skyward Harp is also great. Still use it on Child here and there. Sometimes it goes official. No regrets. And after that came Venti. So, the stockpile of my wishes, I did go for Venti here because he was an Archon and he was just so broken at the time for like all Spiral Abysses because almost everyone was suckable and he just trivialized everything. So here is where I got my Venti. 1.5. The rerun of Zhongli, post-buff. I just thought, Omni Shred? Huge ass shield? Come on, I gotta have him now. I'm just so angry that I already decided to pass on him the first time around, and then he got his huge buff afterwards. So this is when I finally went after him, got my Zhongli. And of course, reminder, I am BP Welkin along this time. All the shop top-ups that I've mentioned, that was pretty much it for my entire history of Genshin, besides BP Welkin. I only did it those one times, at least 150-ish, $151 or so in the very first year. Decided to stop after that. BP Welkin, that's perfectly, that's a sweet spot for me. So, got Zhongli. Eula! She came out, I thought she looked amazing from an aesthetics point of view, but man, I saw her burst, I saw how backloaded it was. I remember watching 1010 videos at the time saying, you know, backloaded damage and whatnot, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I 1000% agree with that. That looks terrible. Whopper flowers exist. And physical just seems like so countered everywhere. There's always ruin machines, monsters in the abyss. So the probability of her feeling bad to use in any given abyss seemed pretty high to me. So I was like, sorry Eula, gotta pass. 1.6. Please rerun. Okay, no thank you. It's very well known that Klee is not the bee's knees at this point. Next, Kazuha. His first banner. Mr. 5-star Sucrose, you don't need him yourself. Ooh, I remember these times. I looked at him and I honestly thought, I am a child main. He looks like he'll be pretty good for this team. It'll definitely be the best version of my child team. I was using Bennett, Xiangling, Sucrose with child at the time, but my wishes were, you know, kind of... I needed to save them. Why? Because I knew Inazuma was just right around the corner, and Ningguang was already questionable and not quite cutting it for me in the Abyss at this time, and I was thinking, oh, I really need someone else to lead that second side for me. So Kazuha would just be like a, you know, 5-10% increase probably for my current main / best team, but I really need to work on a second team period. And you know what? I would just wait for his rerun, because you know what? It's not going to be that far away, right? Right? So, I passed on Kazuha, knowing that I thought he was very good, but, you know, I would just wait for the rerun, and I had other more pressing needs at the time. And I knew Ayaka was around the corner, Raiden Shogun was gonna come as well, so I needed to save my primos. 2.0. The release of Inazuma. The release of the much-awaited, heralded Kamisato Ayaka, Miss Soggy Socks herself. I knew I needed someone to lead my second team. I saw Ayaka's kit. Perfect. This is who I need. This is who I passed on Kazuha for. So I went and spent my wishes, and I got her. I secured myself Miss Kamisato Ayaka, along with some random 4 stars I did not need. But I got Ayaka. But I got her. And at the same time, Mist Splitter released. I remember looking at the sword and I was thinking, holy crap, look at this weapon power creep. This is like by far way better than like any other weapon we currently have in the game. And I was just thinking, oh man, are they just gonna continue this level of weapon power creep like every single major patch? Like, is it worth buying any weapons? Because aren't they just gonna get power crept? So I was just looking at the sword and it just looks really nice. But that skyward spine here looked really bad. And I was already low on wishes. I knew I needed to save up for the Electro Archon, so I exercised my discipline. And I said, pass. And then came Yoimiya. I kind of wouldn't have minded a Pyro DPS, you know, in addition to Xiangling, so I was thinking at the time. So I thought about it, saw how ultra single target locked she was, and said, man, can't believe they released her like this. No, thank you. I had to pass. I just had to. I know in my mind I just don't value strictly single target characters or teams even, just because I'd rather have a team that is good in AoE and maybe just slightly barely behind in single target, because in my mind most of the actual difficult content that one would encounter in Spiral Abyss at the time would be the AoE chambers more so, and because those would be a little bit more complex, because if you're just fighting single target, just one enemy you have to keep track of and like learn the attack patterns of, like no biggie. So single target lock teams, no thank you. 2.1. The Electro Archon, Raiden Shogun, Miss I don't work with Beidou. And the ensuing outrage that came from that. Still, she was an Archon at this point. I had the other two. I already know. I'm going after every single Archon. So, pulled for her, got her, didn't quite know what to do with her, stuck her in my child Bennett Xiangling team for a while. Felt not too bad. I mean, obviously it's not like the best, but it was kind of nice having like no downtime in the rotation. Yes, I know it wasn't like ideal, but it still worked decently, to be honest. Her E still helps, you know, with burst damage from Child and Xiangling. You get to avoid the annoying, you know, battery phase using Bennett to Xiangling. You just fill that up with Raiden doing her thing. And what would I do? I would do Bennett, Xiangling, Child burst. Child does his stuff. And then I would maybe do one Bennett E. His ER was high enough to where he could get off another burst. And then Raiden would still have the Bennett buff for that. She would do her thing. And then you repeat back from the beginning. Yeah. Quiet, you theory crafters out there. I know it's not ideal, but it was fun. And then came Kokomi. Miss Water Dragon. I thought her kit would probably be like the Hydro Archon's eventual kit when I first saw it. You know, all about the heals, all about the comfort. I looked at her and I thought, you know what? I actually don't think she's that bad. I know a lot of the dominating narrative at the time was that she was just a downgrade, period, when it came to DPS. But I didn't really think that at the time. I actually thought, you know, respectable, not bad. I think the straw that broke my back on wanting to pull for her was the fact that her jellyfish couldn't be repositioned. To me, that was the deciding factor of why I was like, nah, forget Kokomi. Well, that, and I honestly just hated how she's been like characterized and shown in the story, in all of the cutscenes, just everything that the writers did with her. You know, here, look at this smart person who doesn't actually seem to do anything smart, and it just turned me off so much. So even though Kokomi is meta to this day, arguably, I don't want her because, man, the personality, the characterization is just such a negative to me. And I care more about meta, but I still care about that to some extent. So, pass. Gotta save for someone even more to my liking. 2.2. Child's third appearance as a limited banner character. Okay. Maybe he deserved his rerun Archon title at this point. But yeah. So, already had him. Definitely didn't need Yanfei. Didn't need Ningguang. Didn't need Chongyun. So, that was that. Pass. But, he did get a new signature weapon released. Nah, no thank you, because I have Skyward Harp, and I'm very happy with that. And I also have an R5 Viridescent Hunt at this point too, so yeah, I am not going to be scammed by you, Hoyle. I can resist. And then came Hu Tao, and I think this might have been Toma's release as well. I still didn't really want or need Hu Tao at this time, but or was this Sayu's release? Oh, I'm so confused. Where was Sayu's release? Oh, she got released with Yoimiya, Sayu did. Oh, I do remember I put in like 20 wishes or so into Yoimiya's banner, and I got my Sayu. I really wanted her for artifact farming routes. I remember now. Yes, Yoimiya banner, I did not completely pass on. I spent like 10 to 20 wishes and luckily got my Sayu. Okay, so this was a pass. Pass. But, holy, look at this banner. Elegy for the End and Staff of Homa. Oh my goodness. And I think they had recently added the weapon guarantee thing. What is it called? Epitomized path. There you go. Oh, sack sword's not so bad either. These moon and the spear. Yeah, I spent wishes on this banner. And I remember I selected Homa for my epitomized path. I think I got it right off the bat and thought, what else will I get? And then I got an elegy. And then another elegy. And then at that point, I was like, oh, I have an epitomized path. Maybe I'll get another Homa. I definitely probably spent a little bit more than I should have here. And I went and got another Homa. So from this banner, I got 2 Homas and 2 elegies. I ended up refining the elegies because I was like, I don't see myself using more than 1 at a given time, which I still stand by to this day. I only regret it from a relatability standpoint, to where, now it's R2, and I don't know. Yeah, less relatable. But I don't need 2 elegies, I really don't. But it is what it is. The Homas are 2 separate R1s right now, and occasionally Xiangling uses it. The other one is just sitting there, waiting for the day a new chosen user arrives. Perhaps named Arlecchino. 2.3 Eula. Already made up my mind here, easy pass. Wait, Bennett? Wait a second, Bennett again? Huh? Wait, something is not right here. Oh, yeah. This is where they introduced them. One banner or the other. Okay, yeah. This is where they started doing, where you can pick between 2 different limited characters running at the same time. Okay. Yes, because I was like, wait a second. Bennett. I remember on this banner, I just wanted Bennett cons. Because you know what? I've been running my child team for so long. I want my Bennett to at least get up to C5, at least. And you know what? Even if I get C6, I will activate it. So that was my thinking here. You know what? I'm gonna get me some Bennetts. Toss some wishes here. Didn't mind getting some constellations on the other 4 stars. I think I might have gotten my C6 Noelle here. Rosaria only C2. Even to this day, she's still C2. But I did get my Bennett up to C5. And I got a C1 Albedo. Which is like, I don't mind. It's still relatable because I just don't use the burst. And it's the exact same as C0. So, C1 Albedo. That I do have. And then followed by Ito. So I really need to, be careful with my wishes. Do I really want Ito? You know what? Nah, I can foresee the day where I go after like running a C6 Noelle team as my Geo team for fun. Like that was my goal because I have Albedo, I have Noelle, but I do want Goro. So what did I do here? I think I was at, I got my Albedo very recently and stopped after that. So I was like near 0, 50-50 pity. So I tossed like 40 wishes or so on this banner in hopes of getting Goro. I either completely failed or got 1 copy. I can't remember. My Goro luck was not good. 2.4, the return of Xiao. Oh, and look, it's Yunjin. Pass. Save up Primos. Shenhe. Oh man, this is one attractive lady. I do have Ayaka. I did get Mona shortly after I got Ayaka, I remember, which is super lucky at the time, cause yeah, you could do Morgana with Ayaka, Diona, Venti, and Mona. So, thought about this a little bit, seemed really niche, and I also thought, you know what, I really like Kaya. In the end, I told myself I can foresee a day where freeze becomes useless just because, hey, we already have some enemies that are immune to freeze, so I am definitely predicting that down the line in the Spiral Abyss, you're Freeze is just gonna feel bad a lot of the times when it comes to like running all 3 chambers. So in my mind, Freeze was already kind of dead, so I'm like, ooh, Monocry, I kind of want that. But in my head, I kind of always envisioned this specific Monocry team I wanted to achieve in the long run anyways, and it didn't involve Shenhe. It was basically, I wanted Diona, Kazuha, C6 Kaya, and Ayaka. Like, that would be my Monocry team. So, you know what I did? I passed. So, no Shenhe for me. And then the next banner, Ganyu and Zhongli. I was able to pass, so save more primos. 2.5, the release of Yae Miko. Ooh, I really liked her character. She's also, you know, quite attractive. She is a woman with agency, with, you know, power. She's not just a dumb damsel in distress. She's got it going on. Girl boss energy, all that. I like the character. I kind of want to pull her, but her playstyle, her triple EQ playstyle, which had no iframes. Oh, that to me was the straw that broke the camel's back. If the E's at least had iframes each time you use them like a dash, then I think I would have really, you know, still maybe wanted to pull for her. But because they do not, had to pass. So, no Yae for me. Kokomi's rerun, still same issues. I already have my C5 Bennett at this time. Yeah, didn't care for Kokomi. So, that was a no there. Raiden Shogun, I also already got her on her original banner. No need to pull here. Save Primos. 2.6. Kamisato Ayato. This guy looks interesting. I am a child main. Do I want him still though? Ooh, look at him. He pulled out some boba. I love boba. I must have boba man. But no, I can't. Be disciplined. Must be disciplined with my pulls. Don't need them. I'm a child main. Sorry, Boba Man, but you almost had me with the Boba animation. But luckily, discipline, pass. Venti rerun, don't need him. Already have him at C0. Easy way to save here. Kamisato Ayaka, already have her. Or don't super need any of the 4 stars, so I'm good to keep her at C0. To me, that is ideal, relatable. The game is not that difficult. In fact, I would get too bored if I got the broken constellations. So, no thank you. But, what is this? Her Mist Splitter? So, I'm definitely using Child and Ayaka as my 2 team leaders at this time. Maybe it's about time I get her a nice Mist Splitter, So yeah, I pulled on this banner. Why? Because I also figured I also just really enjoy playing Beidou when I get the chance. So you know what? She can have the Unforged when I get it. So I pulled on this banner. And guess what? My first weapon was the Mist Splitter. Very nice. And you know what else I said? I said to myself, I need an R5 Favonius Warbow. I just need one more. So I'm just gonna pull a few more until I get my Warbow. So I probably did another, you know, like maybe 40-ish some odd pulls or whatever. And then I struck gold. And I got another Mist Splitter. Amazing. My future Cryo team of Ayaka and C6 Kaya, when I finally get them, they will both have Mist Splitters. And it will be glorious. But I still need Kazuha. Diona I have. So I got 2 Mist Splitters and 0 Unforged here. Wow, what a banner for my account. 2.7, the release of Yelan. Oh my goodness, do we have another Xingqiu? Another Xingqiu? Are you kidding me? Double Hydro? Like, that's gonna be so cracked. And Xiao. Of course, yeah, we don't care about Xiao at this point. So, gotta pull for Yelan. Did it. You know what? I was also kind of close to my pity. And I still only had like a C0 or C1 Barbara at the time. I was like, you know what? I don't even mind getting some Barbacons. But I was able to get my Yelan and 0 additional Barbaras. I remember that because Barbara was like the only 4-star I was okay with pulling here. But didn't get any, unfortunately, for the context of my account at the time. So, got my Yelan. But wait, there's also this very pretty Aqua Simulacra. Normally I don't care that much about weapons. I also already have a general 5-star bow in Skywired Harp at the time. I also have Elegy. Do I really need Aqua? But I'm really big into doing my artifact farming routes. And I'm just thinking, Yelan, what am I going to use her with? I'm looking at my bow options, and none of them look that good. Like, yeah, there's Fav Warbow, but honestly, this whole time I'm planning on playing double Hydro with Xingqiu, and he has a sack sword, so he's like providing her all the energy she needs. So what's my other weapon? Slingshot? I was like legitimately leveling up a slingshot. And I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna level up the slingshot because I'm probably gonna use it in my double Hydro team anyways. And you know what, I'm gonna throw just a few pulls at the weapon banner. Like, you know, maybe 20, maybe 30, and that's it. You know, I'm gonna level up the slingshot first because I know I'm not gonna get my Aqua. So I did that, leveled up my slingshot, and then, you know, threw my pulls afterwards, like 20 and 30 pulls. And I got it. I got the Aqua Simulacra. I cannot believe it. My weapon banner luck has been just so good. Like, are you kidding me? So I was a pretty happy camper with that. I don't regret leveling that slingshot just because I bet if I didn't do that, I would not have gotten my Aqua. So, lesson learned. And then it was Ito. I threw maybe like 30-ish pulls here because Goro was on it, and I just, you know, I always knew I eventually wanted to have a C6 Goro, even though I don't care for Ito. Didn't really get many Goro here, maybe one at best. Like, I'm pretty sure at this point he was probably like C1, and that would be about it. 2.8. He has returned! He has finally risen! Kazuha! The real Anemo Archon. Finally, after such a long wait from his initial release, I could finally obtain my Kazuha. Easy pull. Completed my Child International team. Super happy. And he's just been so great. Just everywhere else. You know, you already know the drill. You know how great he is. You know how many teams he's great in. Yeah, I was just so happy, finally. Thank you, 2.8, for finally getting Kazuha back to the player base. Oh yeah, and Klee ran alongside him, not much to say there. And Yoimiya ran afterwards. Yeah, didn't need anything from here, didn't care for Yoimiya. Easy way to start building up my primos again. 3.0, the release of Sumeru and Dendro. Hello, Kale. Though we got one for free, so didn't necessarily need this one. Didn't need to pull in Zhongli, so also we already knew Tignari, yeah, there you go, Tignari, or Tanari was gonna appear on standard soon after this banner, so no point in wasting limited wishes on someone who's gonna end up in standard anyways, so skipped on this banner. I remember I also saved up all of my standard banner wishes because I was like approaching soft pity pretty soon, so I would wait till we made it into the pool and then hit that pity. After that was Kokomi, So I still felt the same way I mentioned I felt from before. You know, still decently strong meta pick, but at the same time, hate the characterization of her, and yeah, not being able to relocate the jellyfish. And Ganyu. You know, I already have Ayaka, I have Miss Splitter, I definitely don't need Ganyu at this point. 3.1. The return of Venti, and here's Candice, or Kandaka, and Kuki Shinobu. And here's Sino, and I'm thinking, Sino, or Sai, yes? Do I want him? Because I tried him in the trial. I knew he's not like necessarily, you know, super top meta or anything like that. I remember thinking, you know, the timing of his ease, his skill usages during his burst, you know, it's kind of cool, kind of interesting. Visually, I kind of like him as well. So, you know what? And I kind of want some Kuki Shinobus and some Candice pools here too. So, you know what? Even though I'm close to my 50-50 soft pity, I don't think I'm willing to use a guaranteed on him, but if I get him, I get him, okay. So I spent like 40 wishes or so here, and I managed to get my C2 Kuki, which was absolutely huge. Got some Candice or Kandaka, and I managed to not get Sino. I lost my 50-50, and I forget who I got exactly. Probably Chi-Chi, because she is my highest constellated standard 5-star. But no regrets on my pulls here, because yeah, didn't get Sino and got my C2 Kuki, which was absolutely huge. Oh yeah, this is the birth of Hyper Bloom too. Like, we're in Sumeru now, Kuki is amazing, I knew I wanted her, period. And then it was Albedo and the release of Nilou. Ooh, Nilou. She basically creates a whole new team archetype that you can play. I love that. I love characters that do things like that. Like, you mix it up, have more fun. Man, I really like that. But I hate her character. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's just like such an airhead, and oh man, I just really did not like her characterization. Even though I loved her from, you know, team archetype meta standpoint, because in my mind I thought, oh yeah, I can definitely see her being meta in the future from this point. Even if she's not super powerful on release, I totally predict and foresee that she will be meta. But I hate her character, so I passed. 3.2. The release of the Dendro Archon, Nahida. Of course, had to have her. Pulled her. There's nothing to say about it. She is broken. She is too powerful. I hate the fact that there's no other Dendro character that comes even like close to what she does. Yeah, not even close. I wish there was someone else that's like at least, you know, 80% of Nahida's value as a Dendro character, but there is not. So, gotta have her. I hate that about her. So, in my mind, I also never want to get constellations on her either. Much like Kazuha, because I feel like these characters are just so good that if I were to get their constellations, I would get Saitama Syndrome. One Punch Man Syndrome. I would be so bored. I would have no thrill of battle. I would just be playing a game where I step on ants, and that's all I do. Just ants. Okay, how many ways can I step on this ant? And how interesting can that be? And yeah, pulled her. I really hope I don't get constellations on her, even on accident, because if I get on accident, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll worry about that day when it comes. So yeah, Yoimiya reran with Nahida, but yeah, don't need Yoimiya. Child rerunning again, but hello Layla, and oh yeah, Miko. You know what? you know what? At this point, my account is, decently comfortably strong. I did just get Nahida as well. I'm playing my double hydro hyper bloom team with Nahida and Kuki. I'm still playing Child International on the other side. I'm like just trying to build up my other options. Hey, maybe I want to do cool 4-star challenges. You know what? I'm going to go after some pulls on this banner because I have none of these characters at C6. So I threw some pulls here. I got Layla to like C3 or C4, I think. And I managed to get like Toma to C6 as well, and Hazo to C6. And I do remember, I do recall that I did not get a C7 Hazo or Toma either. Like they both stopped perfectly at C6 when I called it quits. And I did get a C1 child here too, because you know what? I've been using child since the beginning of my Genshin Impact career till this day. I love playing his team. C1 doesn't even seem that broken, so I don't feel that guilty about turning it on. It just makes him a little bit more fun, more of a quality of life improvement constellation. So yeah, give me his C1. No regrets on the pulls on this banner. C6 Thomas, C6 Hazo, and either C3 or C4 Layla. And Yai. But yeah, my wishes went to C1 Child over Yai. 3.3. The release of Wanderer and Madame Faruzan. Okay. So me, I had a plan for Sumeru. I thought I was gonna get like Alhaitham, I was gonna get Dia, like maybe I'll skip Wanderer, but then his kit release, and he flies! What? He flies? And he moves fast? And I have a Lost Prayers of the Sacred Winds to make him move faster? And I still do artifact farming routes every single day? And I have to travel to do my daily commissions too? And he can help me with that to knock out my chores faster? I gotta have him. So, Wanderer. I remember I'm like near like 50-50 pity after my child pools. So you know what? I've got a lot of runway to work with here to also go for constellations on Faruzan, and not only Faruzan, but Goro. If you remember, I said I really wanted Goro cons as well, but I didn't want Ito. I just was always building towards this ultimate final Noel team that I would like to have one day. So I threw in my pulls here. I lost my first 50-50. I think I got a Gene. Yeah, I got C3 Gene. Okay, you know what? I need more Faruzans, so let's keep going. I keep going, and I get my guaranteed, got my Wanderer, and I got him, and my Faruzan is like at C4 at this point. So I'm just thinking, do I go for that C6? I don't want to get a C1 Wanderer guaranteed, but yeah, let's keep going a little bit. So I dumped in another handful of wishes. I think it was around 40 something, and I got another gold at that point. And I was thinking, oh man, is this gonna be C1 or what? It was a Chi-Chi. Damn. But okay, I got my Chi-Chi, and then so I told myself, you know what? I can do a few more pulls, like 20 to 30, just to see if I can do it. And then I remember when I finally stopped, it was on a pool where I got a double Faruzan. So I got her. I got C6 Faruzan with C0 Wanderer, even though I got 3 golds, but 2 of them were lost 50-50s, albeit one of them just a little bit early. But yeah, C0 Wanderer, C6 Faruzan, and I remember I started with a C1 Goro at this time. He only ended up at C5, so I'm still missing that C6 Goro, which I really do want to, before I ever truly even take my Noelle out of the box seriously, I want to have that C6 Goro. So C5 Goro, C6 Farazan, C0 Wanderer. And then it was Raiden Shogun and Kamisato Ayato. So I just spent a ton of pulls on the previous banner, so gotta stock up again. 3.4. Hello Xiao and hello Al Haytham. Alright, Al Haytham. Man, I am a child main. I kind of like what I see from his playstyle. Do I want Al Haytham? I definitely don't need him, because I'm just playing a ton of just double Hydro Hyper Bloom with on-field Nahida at the time. Like, man, this really does feel like it would just be a purely luxury pool that doesn't get me too much newness in the account, but I do like the play style. Also, let's see, when he uses his burst, you can swap into Kuki, hurry up and cast her skill, and then swap back to catch his Dendro infusion. That's cool, but that's kind of ping dependent too. It's like, if you just start lagging, then your rotation is just completely screwed and you're effed, and that would just feel so bad. If your Kuki just gets hit and staggered, then you would also lose it, and that would feel so bad. So, even though I did like the playstyle and what I saw, I still wanted to pull. But then freaking Zajef kept calling him Jordan Peterson, and that also made me not really want to pull, so that was that. So I had to pass for now. And then it was Yelan and Hu Tao. And what the heck is this banner? This banner is crazy. Anyhow, on this Yelan banner, I think, let me see. Oh yeah, I was pretty close to my guaranteed after the Wanderer pulls, and I was just thinking to myself, C1 Yelan. If I get that, then if I really wanted to play her like C0, I could control that and still play her exactly like she would play at C0. So relatability, I could still keep that in check. And like I said before, I do my daily artifact farming routes, and C1 would be really nice for overworld and even just doing daily commissions. So you know what? Let's use this guaranteed on C1 Yelan. And I did. Went for Yelan, don't need Hu Tao, but look at this weapon banner. This weapon banner, oh my god, look at these 2 5-stars. That is cracked. Except I already have 1 Aqua and I have 2 Homas already, so I really don't need it, but nice looking banner. 3.5 Sino rerun, and our long-awaited collective queen, Dia, who sucks and is going to standard, and we're all just so sad. Yeah, so don't need Sino, and Dia's gonna end up on standard later anyways. And she sucks, so I can't waste pulls on her, even though I like her character so much. Goodbye, Dia. I hope you surprise me sometime in the not so far away future. But look at this weapon banner. Staff of Scarlet Sands and Beacon of the Reed Sea. And who knows if we'll ever see the Beacon of the Reed Sea again after this. We surely don't know about Tignari, Tanari, and the Hunter's Path. So, yeah, I'm gonna throw some pulls here just because I don't mind having the staff, because it looks like it could be good for a lot of other characters in the future. And honestly, I just wanted a generalist 5-star Claymore, because at this time, it's literally the only weapon type where I don't have a generalist 5-star weapon of. Yeah, I have Skyward Harp, I have Aqua, I have Elegy, I have Homa, I have another Homa, I have a Jade Wing Spear, I have a Mist Splitter ×2, I have an Aquilith of Avonia, however you pronounce that, and Oh yeah, I have Lost Prayers, I've got a Skyward Atlas, so Claymore is the only thing I'm missing in terms of a 5-star generalist weapon for. I would have loved Wolf's Gravestone, but never spooked me, so yeah. You know what? I'm going after the bacon. So, epitomize that, and I got a staff, and then a staff, and then finally bacon. But at least I was at least like midway to my first soft 50-50 pity, or the first pity essentially, where I got my first sands, and so I didn't have to blow too many wishes on it still, even though it took three 5-stars. It was my bacon, I got it like within like 90-ish pulls or so. So 3 5-stars, 90-ish pulls. But the first one was like, I think somewhat close to pity already. So not that ultra impressive, but still not that unlucky either. So pretty good. So I've got 2 staves now and 1 bacon. And then it was Ayaka and Shenhe with Mika. Hi Mika, what are you doing here? Not on a Eula rerun. So, I mean, I already have my C0 Ayaka with Mistsplitter, very happy with. That's complete. Shenhe, I already mentioned that my future dream monocryo team consists of C6 Kaya instead of Shenhe. So, don't really need her, even though, you know, she looks great, she's cool. But yeah, that slot, that's saved for my man Kaya. 3.6, Nilou and Nahida. Okay, we've got ourselves a banner here. I already have the Dendro Archon. Her Constellation 2 would make her way too overpowered, but I don't even want C1 because she's just too strong at C0 already. But Nilou, God, I do like the teams that she enables, but I hate the character. Oh, but I also like this weapon banner. Why? Because, oh, look at that HP scaling sword. I really don't care about Nahida's signature here, but man, Key of Kaj Nisut. That would be nice to have. And I think, you know, I don't know what to do with my pools in terms of characters right now. And to me, a 5-star weapon is a nice shareable and toggleable constellation, essentially. You know, not just 5-star characters, also with 4-star characters. C7 4-star characters. That's how I view them when they have a 5-star weapon equipped. So yeah, I tossed some pools this way, got 1,000 floating dreams first, and then got a key. So, yep, got my key. And I've been happy with it because it's definitely a pretty good weapon overall for all the HP scalers and teams that just want EM. It's like, yeah, it's no regrets. And if I ever do finally decide I'm pulling Nilou, then hey, I've got everything else set up for her to just go crazy and blow up everything. Man, why couldn't Nilou's personality be more like, I just want to blow everything up. Bloom, bloom, bloom. Boom, 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 bloom. What's the difference? There is no difference. Boom, boom, bloom. Sorry. And then it was Ganyu and Baiju. You know what? You've got not much AoE, but, you know, slow off-field Dendro. You have very good team-wide healing. You have Candace on your banner, who I actually kind of just want to get to C6 for fun, just for random 4-star challenges and runs. And Kaveh, I could get him too, just because I don't have constellations for him either. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go for it. So I went and got Baiju, and some Candace, Kandaka, and some Kaveh. 3.7. Yai and Yoi. And Kirara. Didn't really need any of this. Need to save some Primos. And oh my goodness. Alhaitham and Kazuha. Well, like I said before with Nahida, Kazuha, I also consider someone that's just too strong. right now to where I would feel bad getting his constellations, especially his C2. Then I feel like I'm stepping on ants, and yeah, I don't find that fun. So that's just for me. Gonna avoid Kazuha cons, but hey, I don't hate them. But my primos are dwindling. He's calling to me, but I missed his message and I forgot to call back, so I didn't get him. Save. 3.8. Wanderer Rerun. And Kokomi, who I still don't have. What to do? While chasing some of the 4-star cons on the Baiju banner, it did bring me a little bit close to pity, so you know what? I use Wanderer all the time in the overworld. I can't see him ever leaving until someone just power creeps him in speed and flight. So, you know what? C1 is also not too broken. It's a nice quality of life constellation that makes it more fun to use his dash and not lose as much DPS. And you know what? Yeah, let's go for it. Even though I already have C6 Farazan, I was close enough to pity and decided to go for it, and I got C1 Wanderer. Still no Kokomi, and yeah, I'm okay with that for now. Even though, you know, I respect her, even in the meta, it's just, God, the character. Why did Hoyle write her that way? And next is Klee and Eula, who does get Mika on her banner. So, good for her. Primos are dwindling. Save. Oh wait. This banner happened before the Wanderer rerun. Yeah, my bad. So just swap those. 4.0, the release of Fontaine. Lynette, also rerunning with Yelan, with also a pretty nice weapon banner. First Great Magic and Aqua Simulacra. But yeah, I didn't need this, so easy to look away. Do I care for Linny? No, not really. But Lynette. Do I need some Lynette constellations? They've got the Numa Usia stuff going on. I don't know how restricting that'll be in the Spiral Abyss. Do I really need one in order to do my 4-star clears? Kinda want some Lynette cons. I'm just like at near zero pity, 50-50. I'm gonna do 30 to 40 pulls, honestly, just for constellations. C6 Bennett is what I have at this time. I still don't have enough constellations on Barbara. I think she's like C1 maybe at this time. And Lynette, that's who I'm going for. 30-40 pulls, that's it. I'm gonna do that and stop. Did that, got a, was it C2 or C3? Lynette also got a surprise Yelan, C2. Do I activate this cons? I know I mentioned not ever wanting cons on Nahida or Kazuha, but maybe for Yelan, because she's at least somewhat replaceable. Like, if there's a team that Yelan is good in, I can probably just use Xingqiu instead. So you know what? I use her in Overworld all the time too, making her stronger there. I'm cool with that, just to get more of my chores done faster. So, you know what? Let's activate it. C2 Yelan, done. And then it was a child and Zhongli rerun with the release of Fremine, who I was not interested in, so gotta save. 4.1, the release of Monsieur Neuvillette, Ordainer of Inexorable Judgment, and the rerun of Hu Tao. Dude, this guy, man, check out his giant, massive hydro pump. And just the fact that we know he's like this dragon sovereign. And dude, like, come on, how can I not pull? So, take my primos. Glad I didn't have to get too many of the 4 stars to reach him, because I do value my 4-star pulls a lot. But I had literally all 3 of these at C6 already, so glad I didn't have to spend too many 4-star pulls in order to get my C0 Neuvillette. His C1 looks super cracked as well. Maybe I'll go for that in a future rerun, but let's see how I enjoy playing him at C0 first.
Like maybe he'll be too powerful, and I just don't want C1 because he's already too strong at C0. Spoiler alert, that is actually how I feel right now. So I don't know if I'll actually ever go for a C1. And then it was the Rizzler himself. Wriothesley, emissary of solitary iniquity. Do I need him? No, because I already have my Dream Team Mono Cryo amalgamation of Ayaka, C6 Kaya, Kazuha, and Diona. And that team just is so fun to me. It's one of my favorite teams, and maybe a part of it is because like no one ever talks about it or plays it or cares about it at all. But the way it's tuned and the way I have my R5 Sackbow, R5 Favonius Sword, Miss Splitter, a pop for Kaya and Ayaka. Oh, that team is so fun. Oh yeah, and Venti reran. But yeah, no one needs cons on Venti. 4.2. The release of the Hydro Archon. Question mark, question mark. Farina de Fontaine herself in the endless solo of Solitude. Absolutely must pull her. Gotta get all the Archons. Oh my god, look at her C1, look at her C2. Oh, even her C1 is like way too powerful. Like, oh my goodness, such easy early value. But I gotta hold back because Farina gives birth to so many different new team archetypes or just other characters that wouldn't otherwise ever be used. So, oh man, I really hope I can keep her at C0. But man, if I were to ever luckily accidentally pull a C1, it's gonna be hard not to activate it. But I think I will try not to. So, got Farina for sure. And she also came with a rerun of Baiju, who works super well with her. I'm glad I pulled him on his first banner, in fact. Got my Candace constellations out of it, and some Kaveh, even though he also sucks. I mean, Candace isn't that great either, but maybe if I get Nidalu one day, then I can use her there with Yao Yao. But anyhow, very happy with my Baiju stonks going up. I definitely run Farina, Kazuha, Baiju, and Neuvillette all the time these days, and it's so powerful, so easy. I really don't need C1 on Neuvillette or Farina. It's just too much power. This team already has too much power with C0s across the board. So I am happy with my purchase. And now, today, we're on the Ayato Sino banner that's right after it. No biggie there. Gonna save again. Navia's gonna come out next, followed by Chevleur, however you pronounce her name. Probably gonna pass on Navia, but I'm definitely gonna go after Chevreuse. Yeah, let's go by how they pronounce it on the special program. So I'm definitely looking to pick up a Chevreuse. Do I even need C6? I don't know. I think she's actually, I don't know, pretty good, valuable at C0 even, and just the birth to all the new team archetypes that are now viable moving forward. And I definitely foresee her becoming, you know, best in slot for future teams with future units as well. We've got, you know, an Electro and a Pyro character on the horizon in Clorand and Arlecchino, so definitely look forward to that. And not only that, like, she's already good for the current characters that exist. Yeah, throw her on a Raiden Shogun team, that'll work fine. Throw her with, I don't know, Yanfei. Reduce the ER requirements of Xiangling and let her go ham with a, like, a on-field Electro carry as well, with Bennett and Chevreuse, so yeah, it'll be great. She's also a great option for 4-star challenges, which is something that, you know, I value, being able to do, you know, 4-star only challenges, because I do foresee a day where you have like tournaments, competitions where you're just limited to 4 stars only, because it's a lot more fair that way. 4-star characters only, 4-star weapons only. It definitely reins in the power ceiling of those tournaments and just kind of keeps things more on even footing. And I think it would be super fun and exciting to watch, especially as our 4-star character roster continues to expand. So, looking forward to that day. And that concludes the banner by banner history of my BP Welkin account. Plus like $151-ish spent in the very first year when I first got into Genshin. So with that, let's go ahead and just take a peek at the account. So let's start with the characters. This is my overworld team. My Rosaria is almost level 90 just from doing artifact farming routes. That day is coming soon. She is C2. I have a C6 Sayu. Like I mentioned before, ended up with a C2 Yelan. You know the history behind that. C1 Wanderer. C1 Albedo while I was chasing after those Bennett cons, just to really round out the international team that I love so much. C0 Zhongli. C0 Kazuha, he's permanently on R5 Fav Sword. Venti. C3 Jean. C6 Chi-Chi. Oh my goodness. C6 Chi-Chi. I don't even have a D-Luke yet, but yeah. C6 Chi-Chi. C0 Ayaka with her Mist Splitter. C0 Raiden. Do the staff on her for now, even though I typically just have her on a Hyper Bloom build, but I was thinking with the upcoming Chevrolet banner, man, I might get cons on Raiden, and I might activate them too. We'll see, because I mean, I never used Raiden on field anyways, so maybe I wouldn't feel too bad about it being overpowered. But yeah, even though I activate cons on her, then her and a Hyper Bloom team is still pretty much the exact same as C0, so I wouldn't feel too bad about that. C1 Ketyung, Baiju, Nahida C0, but I do have her signature weapon, Traveler, Salem Dendro, C0 Furina. Oh, and I do have Festering Desire. Yeah, because I have been playing since near beginning. Very happy to have this. Feels kind of cool to wait this long to have a weapon that works so well on a future character that not many other people can have. Cool. Feels special. C0 Neuvillette on a prototype Amber. C1 Child, as mentioned. I guess he has his V Hunt right now because the harp is on official. I did finally get a Dia shortly after I got Neuvillette, just from regular standard banner pools, so I was pretty happy about that. Been trying out Zajeff's Neuvillette team here and there with Dia, and it does run pretty nicely. It's pretty straightforward rotation, and yeah, I'd say it feels pretty decent. Though I still will use my Furina Kazuha Baiju team over that one, but if Kazuha needs to go somewhere else, then yeah, Dia can slot in for Neuvillette. C5 Yunjin, it'll be cool to just complete it and get the C6 one day, though it doesn't matter that much. Goro, I really do want this C6. I have no idea when I'll get it though. I've thrown at least a few wishes at every single banner he's shown up on, and he's still not C6 yet. I really hope he doesn't show up on Navia's banner though, because I need to save wishes for Chevrolet. Chevrolet I care about more, so maybe C6 Goro will have to wait a bit longer. C6 Noelle, still waiting for her C6 Goro to come along, but I mean, she is, you know, decently invested as well. I don't have a good Husk set, but decent Gladiators and decent Marechals Hay, which is definitely what I'm going to use on her anyways, because yeah, Furina just really changed the game for her. So looking forward to Noelle, Goro, Albano, and Farina team play after Goro gets his C6 though. I don't want to take it out of the box just yet. C6 Hazo, he's been great for 4-star only runs. Hazo Aggravate team is pretty fun. Yeah, just feels fun to pilot. I enjoy it. C6 Sucrose, C6 Layla now. I actually don't use her very often just because, I don't know, I just don't. But I'm glad I have the C6 as an option. C6 Diona, use her for the Mono Cryo team. So happy with my C6 Kaya. Like I said, has a Mist Splitter equipped. And yeah, he's on a full Blizzard Strayer set. Yes, I know there's no more Freeze. Freeze doesn't exist to me, but this is still decent for the 4-piece. I'm happy to take my 20% crit rate instead of 40. Okay, but yeah, he has that. Ayaka also has a Blizzard Strayer. C6 Kuki, C6, quite nice. Save her life, save your run. Official, C6. Yeah, she's holding onto the harp right now. Oh yeah, and I do have an R4 Zyphos. I would love to get this to R5. I do sprinkle pulls on Zyphos banners here and there just because I think an R5 Zyphos is just a cool weapon to have. It's just one of those weapons. C6 Beidou, holding my Beacon of the Reed Sea right now. Happy with that purchase, just to complete my general 5-star weapons. You know, to have one of each weapon type. Razor, he is on the EM build though, so he would be using Fav normally. If I do want to run Rainbow Razor / Thundering Furry every now and then. Kale, I do use her on my 4-star Hyper Bloom clears when I'm using Kuki and DMC in Xingqiu. C6 Candice, which I'm happy about. She doesn't get that much use, but she's very pretty. I love her design. I wish she was much better. I think the design is amazing, and I like her character too. You will find your place one day. Well, I guess Nilou kind of does that for her. Damn. Do I have to get Nilou? Maybe. We'll see. C6 Xingqiu. C6 Toma, who's just been amazing for my Wanderer team. Wanderer with C6 Farazan, C6 Toma, and Bennett. Oh, that team is honestly so good. I just can't use them right now because of all of the Pyro Shields and also Copelia with their ridiculous animal resistance. But otherwise, when it's not getting countered, Wanderer is so amazing. So easy to pilot. Very nice. C6 Yanfei, sometimes use her in 4-star challenges, and yeah, looking forward to using her with Chevreuse whenever I get her in a couple of patches. C6 Bennett, C6 Xiangling. Xiangling is Xiangling, and she's, yeah, you already know how amazing she is. C0 Mona, doesn't really see much play anymore. Just because moved away from Freeze, Ayaka teams. Yeah, Freeze doesn't exist to me anymore. C6 Ningguang. She's just holding my R2 Skyward Atlas right now. So, I mean, she can hit decently. I think she would actually pair well with Navia if I were to get Navia, though I don't think I'm going to go after her. And she's also, you know, decently invested as well. Just holding 2-piece of, you know, nice substat artifacts. Lynette, C3, doesn't get too much play these days, but fun to use on a mono animal, you know, attack-based team. I do foresee me using that a little bit more in the future. I think it'll be funny to do like a 4-star mono animal team, just because you can also like give all of them 5-star weapons, just because, you know, you have 3 people with the same elements, so energy is much less of an issue, and you can just see them go ham. I think that'll be funny. I don't think I ever see people doing things like that, so maybe I'll do that. C6 Farazan, super amazing. C5 and below, not amazing. Glad I have C6. Yeah, technically she's C7 because I remember they gave a free one out after I had already C6'd her. Yao Yao, C0. Very good character, even at C0. Still sees play and aggravate teams. C6 Chongyun. C2 Barbara, even though I've been playing since the beginning of the game, so it's kind of interesting. Yep, 4-star cons are certainly not guaranteed. C3 Lisa, I've started buying her. Cons in the Star Glitter shop. C3 Amber, so I will buy all of their cons every time from this point forward, even though I already did that for Kaya. C4 Kave, he sucks, but I don't mind getting constellations even on characters that suck. Just to, you know, round out my 4-star pool value on banners. C6 Xin Yan, Alloy, not a real character. C0 Tignari, unleveled, he's only at what, level 20, yeah. Though I did get him somewhat recently, but he's pretty single target too, and you know how I feel about single target locked characters, Well, who knows if I'll actually level him up or not. C1 Charlotte from the Farina banner, the free Fremine, the free Mine that we just got from the recent Thelxie event, C0 Dory, which was free, I believe. Yeah, never got her on a banner pool. Only C1 Kujo Sara, so I don't mind getting her cons on the upcoming, you know, Chevrolet Raiden Shogun banner, which she should be on, because she's never not been on a Raiden banner yet. And the recently randomly pulled Kirara. And those are the characters in my account. I have all of the standard 5 stars, except for D-Luke. Yep, there you are, D-Luke. No Klee, Ganyu Xiao Hutao, Eula, Yoimiya, Kokomi, Ito, Shenhe Yai, Ayato, Sino Nilu, maybe Nilu one day. I'll hate them. Maybe I'll hate them one day, because he does seem fun to play. He does have his Farina teams, his Yelan teams, he can use Xingqiu. Like, yeah, he has a lot of fun options, so maybe I'll hate them one day. No Mika, no Lenny, no Risley. You can take a quick glance at the weapons. Aqua, LG R2, which I wish I kept as R1. Not because I need 2 of them, just to be more relatable. Got an Amos, the Skyward Harp that I spent $100 to get alongside this Lost Prayers. Don't regret, because check out my Fav Lances and where's my Fav Swords? And my Fav Swords. Oh yeah, very nice. Okay, got the 1,000 Floating Dreams mentioned, random Skyward Atlases that I wish were Wolf's Gravestones or Skyward Blade. I would like to have a Skyward Blade actually for Bennett ER. What else would have been nice on standard? I'm sure there's something else. I don't know, another Skyward Harp would have been nice. Yeah, I can't remember the other weapons. Staff of the Scarlet Sands, I mentioned I got 2 of them. Here's this level 1 down here. And yeah, that was when I was going after this key. Jadewing Spear, I got pretty early on in the Genshin Impact account's lifespan, within the first year on standard, I believe. The 2 Homas I mentioned. The Bacon that I went after, the 2 Mist Splitters, and Aquila was actually my very first ever standard, standard weapon from 5-star, or 5-star standard weapon from the standard banner. There you go. And here is a quick glance at the 4-star weapons. But yeah, I'm very happy with having these 2 prototype Ambers at R5. It's really nice and comfy for my Nervilet Farina team for sure. Don't need the Sacrificial Jade. I'd rather build the sword right instead, the Wolf Fang. Let's get that to R5 first before anything else. Love the 3 R5 Fav Lances. I think I actually have a 4th one, which is at level 20. Yeah, down here. But 3's, you know, pretty solid. 3 R5 Fav Swords. If I ever got a 4th R5 Fav Sword, I do plan to level it up as well. Without a doubt. Alright, anything else worth mentioning? I think that's pretty much it. I only have 1 R5 Fav Warbow. I really wish I had a second one at R5. So, Fav Warbow, I'd love to get. I have 2 of the Claymores. That is enough for Claymore. And what's the other one? Fav Codex. Oh yeah, I only have 1 at level 90 for that, but that seems to be enough so far. Yeah, just Fav Warbow. If I could get another one to R5, then I would be a very happy camper. And that about does it. Thanks for watching and listening to this long history of my Genshin Impact account of 3 years. It's been a long journey. It's been a fun journey. It's been pretty memorable. I definitely stand by that because I just randomly made this video where I recalled a lot of things and a lot of emotions I felt at different times throughout a 3-year span. And this is coming from me, someone who can't even remember what he did this past weekend all the time. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed that, please like and subscribe.
And if you have any fun memories or different decisions around a particular patch/banner, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear your story. Thanks.